what you need to say. Say what you need to say. It's better to say too much than never to say what you need to say. Yeah.
Good morning, internet people. It's another Wednesday, another walk and talk. Thank you for tuning in today. Okay, so anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. If you're not following me on Facebook or Twitter, by the way, links will be at the end of the video and in the description box. Last night, Tiffany had a little accident at work. I'm not gonna get into details because I'm gonna put all the details in the vlog. I don't want you guys having to hear it twice. Bottom line, accident at work, ended up in the ER until 2 a.m. Tiffany got an x-ray and 2 stitches on her right thumb. She's doing great. She's at home resting right now. Like I said, we didn't get home till 2 a.m., so I am running on an hour worth of sleep. That is also my excuse for why this video is probably going to be late. Even though, yes, I'm shooting this at 7:30 in the morning right now. I will not be able to edit this right away, but I will try my best to get this video edited and uploaded before the end of the day and ready for you to watch. So yeah, so now that being said, I want to tell you guys that I have 2 announcements that I want to make today. I will put them at the end of this video, so please stick around to watch it. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump to all of our questions for today. Let's go! Alright, first question! Well, our first video response question, and my only video response question from last week, comes from my friend Des, his channel DA Roxas, and he asked...
Ray, my question for you is, if time and money was not an obstacle, to what causes would you dedicate your time to? Thanks a lot, man.
Sorry, Des, if I'm getting this wrong, I should have clarified. But from what I'm gathering from this question is, if time and money wasn't an option or an obstacle, so I'm assuming that would mean I had all the time I wanted and an unlimited amount of money, what causes would I dedicate my time to with that? It'd be more than one. Definitely be more than one cause. For a personal cause, it would have to be, I would open and start running my own film studio. I'd hire all of my friends that I knew could work with video or act or something and just make movies and films with all of my friends, whether on YouTube in real life, and just have fun doing it. That's what my first cause would be. But when it comes to other causes and humane causes, I'd have to say my first cause I would put a lot of effort into is I'd volunteer at the Make-A-Wish Foundation and spend time with you know, the kids that are sick from either terminal illnesses or, you know, life-threatening illnesses. And then I think my other causes, I definitely make a lot of donations, like to Music for Relief, the Leukemia Foundation, breast cancer awareness, but I would definitely put in a lot of volunteer work and donations because I love volunteering. Thank you very much, Des, for the question. And let's go ahead and move on to the comment questions for this week. All right, the first comment question comes from one of my dearest friends. I treat her like my little sister, Lovey Bunny. Her real name is Danny, but her YouTube channel is Lovey Bunny. Her question was, do you think that money making in life is important when you're surrounded by people you love? Or are you one of those people that think money buys happiness? No, I don't believe money can buy happiness, but sadly, you do need money to live. You can't survive without it. Well, you can, but it's very difficult. I mean, you need a roof over your heads, you need transportation, and of course you want to take care of those around you. But money definitely doesn't buy happiness. The bad thing with having a lot of money is you actually make a lot of enemies, and you won't, and it's harder to find people who will be honest with you because a lot of people obviously will be attracted towards you because of the fact that you have a lot of money. I would never flaunt any money that I own. I would never flaunt how much I make. The important thing to me is that I'm making enough to take care of myself and make sure the people I care about most are taken care of. And I don't mean like by having a lot of cars or having the latest and trendy gadgets or anything, but just, you know, that their well-being is secure, they're in a good home, and they're away from any abuse or anything like that, that they're taken care of, the essentials. Money can buy you a lot of things, but the one thing it can't buy is happiness. Unless you're a materialistic person who finds happiness in buying a lot of different objects, then by all means, be happy and alone. So yeah, money doesn't buy happiness. That's what I say. Thank you very much, Danny, for the question, and let's move on to the next one, which comes from Jerg08, my friend Nate. Thank you very much. His question was, what is your favorite movie to date? And what is the worst movie you've ever seen? I can't really pick the worst movie. I've seen a lot of bad movies, but if I sense I'm not gonna like a movie, I try not to watch it. Because based on my history, I've always proved myself right. I never really like a movie that at first, my first sense is I'm not gonna like it. I'm sure I don't like a lot of M. Night Shyamalan movies. Wow, that was a horrible stab at him. Instead, I think what I'll do, since I won't be able to pick a favorite, because I have too many, I'll give you my top 5. Definitely the original Matrix, not 2, not 3, just the very first Matrix. Clerks 1 and 2, and the reason it's Clerks 1 and 2 is because that's an entire story that's very good. Back to the Future trilogy is definitely another one. Fight Club, and to add a little bit of mix to that list, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And thank you very much, Nate, for the question. Let's move on to the next one. I think the next question comes from my friend Luke at his channel, Ike Productions 89. He asked me, if you had a choice to be anyone for a day, who would it be and why? I wish I really thought about this question. I really can't think of anyone. This is a hard question for me because there's just so many people. Probably Kevin Smith, the director, just to see what it's like in his head. I'd like to know how he thinks. He's a really cool guy. Either him or the president, just so I'd see what it's like being in the Oval Office and having all that responsibility, you know? I don't know, one of those two. Have you guys noticed that? Every time you ask me to single out one thing, I can never do it. I'm just so undecisive, I'm sorry. Anyways, thank you, Luke, for the question, and I'm sorry if I didn't answer it right. And the next question comes from, it's Jim C, my friend Jimmy, and he asked me, when you go on your walk-in talks, do you remember all the questions you're asked, or do you have a piece of paper with you? You know what, I was just waiting for someone to ask this question because I was wondering if anyone would ever notice. I will be honest, and yes, I have a piece of paper with me. Honestly though, half the time I don't really need it, especially if I have less than 5-6 questions, but the reason I write all my questions down and bring it along is, you know, what if I forget? But for the most part, if I remember the gist of the question, I might not know it word for word, but if I remember, you know, what the question's about, I'll just say it like that. I do have a piece of paper with me as a backup, and yeah, there's your answer. Let's move on to the next question. Alright, next question comes from Master Jugalotus, and he asked, what's the worst thing any one of your friends has ever done to you, and how did you react? Alright, I kind of talked to this guy, so for the sake of keeping him secret, I'm gonna call him Pete. Pete got into this long-distance relationship with a girl in Ocala, Florida. Honestly, I dated this girl for 2 months before him, and he liked her before then, so me and him kind of went in this I don't like you sort of phase. But then after this, and me and her broke up soon after, they got together, and we became friends again. It was mainly him being upset about us going out, but so he's dating this chick, and he keeps telling me his grandma is, you know, limiting his internet use, his grandma is limiting his home phone use, because he's 16, 17 at the time. This was a couple years back. I was friends with Tiffanie at this point, but we weren't dating. I told him, look, I got my cell phone that I'm paying for myself, but I still have this other cell phone that's on my stepfather's plan, and he pays that bill. I'll let you use his phone if you only use it after 9 o'clock. And he was like, oh yeah, I promise, don't worry, after 9 o'clock is when I usually call anyways. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, sure enough, not even a week after he got it, he's using it up the wazoo. I know this because I was monitoring it online. I knew the login, so I logged into the website. It was showing use, like a lot more than I told him, and I had to keep calling him and told him, dude, don't use this phone very much. I'll get in trouble if my stepdad sees this bill is high. And what's worse is it was with AT&T, but he kept telling me, yo, I'm not using it. I'm not using it that much, blah, blah, blah. Well, finally he did it and went into overage minutes. So I told him, dude, give me the phone. You're gonna get me in trouble. I mean, I took a chance letting you use this. You told me I could trust you, and apparently you're lying. So he says he can't find the phone. So I called up another one of my friends. He drove me over to Pete's house, and I got to his house around 9 o'clock. And I told him, dude, where's my phone? He kept saying, oh, let me go look for it. So I waited. I hung out for another hour talking to him, telling him why I'm getting it. And he said, oh, I understand. I just wish I could find it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I bought it for a little bit. I got home at 11 o'clock, so I was at his place between 9 and 11, signed into the website, checked on the usage for that phone number, and what do you know, between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, while I was in his house, he had called Ocala 6 times. So I was like, you know what, dude? That's it, I've had it. So I know you have the phone, I know you've been lying, and I sent him a message online with a screen cap of the usage. and he tells me, oh, that's messed up that you did that. I'm like, just get me the phone and I'll forget all about this. You know, I understand you want to talk to her, but I need that phone back, no questions asked. Just give it to me and we'll be good. And he was like, fine. Next day, he finally does give me the actual phone. I come home and I'm not an idiot. I pop open the back, pop out the battery, pull out the SIM card, put the SIM card in my other phone and check. He switched out the SIM cards with another one that didn't work. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So he was still using the phone number with a different phone. So needless to say, I was pissed. Eventually, another friend said they'd let him use their phone, and that's when he finally gave me the SIM card back. You know, I just couldn't deal with it anymore, so I just said, you know what, dude, if that's how you're gonna treat me when I'm trying to be nice to you, then I don't need to be your friend for right now. Grow up a little bit. So, yeah, that's one heck of a story. I kind of talked to him a little bit now. It's been a couple years, but I'm still wary about him, to be honest. But, yeah, let's go ahead and jump to the next question, which comes from Alyssa Scott 08, and she had a two-part question. First part question was, are you a thrill seeker or a keep it safe, play by the rules kind of guy? When it comes to activities, I do like to jump at an opportunity or do something crazy every now and again. I'm just a random guy, but I play by the rules half the time, and other times, I don't know, I just like to be a thrill seeker. So I guess more or less 50-50 on that question. Her second question, or second part, I guess, is what is your ideal of fun? Something out and about. Me being the type of kid that grew up just having fun going outside and playing with sticks. It doesn't take a lot to entertain me, but one thing I really love to do, especially with Tiffany, is just go out, catch a movie, you know, grab something to eat, you know, just spend time with Tiffany. Just normal recreational stuff. Go bowling, play pool, go to an arcade, or walk around the mall, you know, just hang out with friends. I mean, that would be my idea of fun for me right now. Ooh, going on road trips. I like going on road trips. Not ones that are too long though. Like I don't want to be driving for 12 hours. A road trip, like get in the car, drive for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, spend the day there and then drive back. Like New Orleans is literally 3 hours away. That is a fun road trip. Just drive to New Orleans, spend the day there, eat some beignets and Cafe Du Monde, walk around the French Quarter and come right back in the same day. Love doing that. We've been doing that like once a year. It's been kind of like a tradition. That's pretty much my idea of fun. Thank you very much, Alyssa, for those questions. And let's go to the next one, which comes from, I think, Alright Jess. And she asked, how did you meet Tiffany? Was it love at first sight? And if not, do you believe in love at first sight? Well, to answer your first question, how did I meet Tiffany? I actually answered that in a previous vlog. I'll put a link to that in the description so you can check it out. And to answer your second question, was it love at first sight? No, I wouldn't say so. There was definitely an attraction. We got to know each other and we became friends, and we were friends for about 3 years, and I think that worked out better because we already knew each other. We knew what we liked. It's always best when you're friends at first and then go into the relationship phase. It's always the easiest. So I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but honestly, I wouldn't have had it any other way with how we came about. And I guess to answer the third part of that question, do I believe in love at first sight? Not really. I think people confuse love at first sight with lust at first sight because you're dealing with looks, the physical appearance of somebody. You don't know their personality. You don't know if they're psycho. You don't know if they're sincere. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some couple out there that has experienced love at first sight and is happy together now. Kudos to them, but honestly, I personally don't believe it can happen on a regular basis. It's very rare. So no, I don't believe in love at first sight. But thank you for the question, Jess. And I think that wraps up all of the questions for this week's Walk and Talk. Let's go ahead and get to my announcements. All right, announcement numero uno. I recently just had an interview with Having Fun 1012. He actually interviewed me because I don't know if I told you guys, I am now a co-host for Top Gaming News Weekly on his channel, which again, Having Fun 1012. So if you want to see that, I'll put a link at the end of this video and in the under bar or the description bar or whatever you want to call it. Please check out that video. Please support the channel. Subscribe, like, leave comments, all that other good stuff. And now the second announcement for this Walk and Talk. The next Walk and Talk, next week's video, is going to be a special Walk and Talk. All of your questions are going to be directed to Tiffany. Due to popular demand, a lot of people have been wanting to know the woman behind Believe in Fate. So if there's any questions that you guys have been meaning to ask Tiffany, go ahead and put them down there in the comment section. Or if you want to be fancy, you can leave it as a video response and it'll be featured in the next video. But Tiffany will be answering the questions next week. And I guess with that, I'm going to leave you guys with the comment question of the week. This week, the comment question is, if you could be any one person for a day, who would you be? Go ahead and leave that down there or in a video response, whichever one works for you. You are the best subscribers and friends in the entire world. Sincerely, thank you for all your well wishes for Tiffanie last night. That definitely was a little scary. And as always, keep on vlogging.